Okay, welcome to week 3. So far, you guys have toughed out 2 full weeks of the low carb plan. So congratulations. It definitely should be pretty smooth sailing for you by now. You should be feeling really good, sleeping very well. Your hunger should be completely gone, and you should be pretty solid on what you're doing nutritionally. To avoid things getting dull at this point, you are totally free to start exploring some recipes. I've included some, but you can also get on Pinterest. Just make sure that if you are getting recipes online, that they specifically say phase 2 of the HCG diet. Very important to double check against your approved food list just to make sure that all of the ingredients are okay for you. Okay, we're going to be talking a little bit about this week's exercise, and also our mindset exercise this week is overcoming emotional eating. So as far as nutrition goes, you guys will just continue to eat exactly the way you have been the last 2 weeks. Like I said, you can get fancier this week if you feel like you need to. If you're the type of person that does better just staying put where you are, you do whatever makes you feel good. So please reference the transition video as often as you need to this week to get really solid on what we're doing starting next week, okay? As far as the fitness goes, same as last week, we're going to just stay pretty low key. I don't want you guys exerting a lot of energy. But our goal, since we are detoxing right now, is to get out and move our body a little bit. So you can do that either on a rebounder, a mini tramp. You can get out and walk. You can swim, stretch, do light cardio. Yoga is probably one of the best ways to detox. In fact, you can Google yoga poses for detox, and you will come up with lots of good stretching, twisting poses that will really help to get your lymph system working properly, and all of that helps to flush out toxins from your system. So right now, because of the fact that we are releasing fat stores, our bodies tend to store a lot of toxins in those fat stores. So in essence, we're also releasing a lot of toxins into our body. So that is why beefing up your water and getting out and moving really does help to flush all of that out. At this point, I want you guys as close as you can to 80 ounces as a minimum, which really is just 4 20-ounce water bottles. Probably the easiest way to tackle that if you're getting up and you're doing your hot lemon water in the morning. You can do 2 20-ounce water bottles. Have your goal be to have those finished before lunchtime, and then 2 in the afternoon, plus whatever you get in for your herbal teas or warm lemon water. That'll just be bonuses. But make sure that you track it, or else I'm almost certain that you will fall short. So write it on your list, track it somehow, use a tracker on your phone, whatever that looks like for you, just to make sure that you are getting all of that in, okay? All right, so on to our mindset portion of this week. Emotional eating is something that most of us do. As children, many of us learn to use food as comfort. Whether it's a scary doctor's visit, which was rewarded with candy, tears of disappointment, which were soothed with an ice cream, or a skin knee, which maybe was remedied with a cookie from mom. It's no surprise that many of us carry this behavior into our adulthood and continue to suppress and soothe our negative emotions with food, especially those high-calorie sweets and foods that are salty and high in fat, our comfort foods. So as adults, different major life events like unemployment, health problems, divorce, or even just daily life hassles like a stressful commute, a boss that's ornery, those kind of things can all trigger emotions that lead to overeating or turning to comfort foods. So why do negative emotions lead to overeating? A lot of the foods that we tend to lean towards when we are upset or sad, a lot of those foods have addictive qualities. For example, when you're eating foods like chocolate, your body releases trace amounts of mood and satisfaction elevating hormones. That reward may reinforce a preference for foods that are closely associated with specific feelings. Related to this simple fact that the pleasure of eating offsets those negative emotions. Food can also be a distraction. If you're worried about an event that's coming up or rethinking an earlier conflict, eating comfort foods may distract you, but the distraction is only temporary. While you're eating, your thoughts focus on the pleasant taste of your comfort food and how good you feel because of the chemicals your body's producing. But unfortunately, when you're done overeating, your attention returns to your problems. And now, on top of the worries and problems, you've got the guilt of overeating. So the good news is that if you're prone to emotional eating, you can take steps to get control of your eating habits and get back on track with your weight loss goals. Taking control begins with self-awareness. So just being aware of the different times of day, the different situations, the different triggers, those type of things, just having that awareness will help put you further ahead in that department. So I want you guys to print out your handout that goes with this assignment. It's called Identifying Your Triggers. And basically in that, you're going to be answering a couple of questions. One of them is what emotions or events trigger you to overeat. So you're going to go through and list those out. Then you're going to, it's going to ask you how you can change or remove those triggers. So it's got a section where you can fill that in. And then the last part of this exercise asks you what non-food related strategies you can use to respond differently to the trigger. So I want you to print that out, spend about 15 minutes or so going through those questions, and I want you to get really deep on that, because if you can identify the trigger and figure out a different reward system when those things come up, all of the sudden you will notice the more you do it, the more the new strategy becomes a habit for you. So it's very important to go through this exercise and make sure that you've got a handle on any emotional eating that you're doing. All right. I've also got a couple of strategies here. Actually, it's not 8, I think it's 10 personal control strategies that help with emotional eating. The first part of that is learning to recognize when you're truly hungry. So stop and ask yourself, is this hunger true? Is it physical or is it emotional? If you just ate a few hours ago and your tummy isn't rumbling, chances are you're not truly hungry. So give the cravings a few minutes to pass, drink some water, just kind of stall a little bit, and chances are you probably will just roll right past it. Chances are it's not true hunger, okay? The next strategy is using your food journal. Often emotional eating happens unconsciously. So for the next couple of days, write down what you eat and how much before you consume the food. That will help you make more conscious choices. Now, I actually want you guys utilizing your food journal in this way also more of a planning tool. I want you to plan everything out using your food journal, and then you can make changes on the fly. But really, if you have it dialed in before your day even starts, your success rate goes up tremendously. I also want you to notate on your food journal a couple of things, actually, and this doesn't have to do with emotional eating, but this is important. So I want you to pay attention to your body, how you feel after you eat, and note that on your food journal. If that food's giving you energy, if you feel blah, that's all really important to start correlating what foods are best for your body. I also want you utilizing that food journal to journal feelings, emotions. If you're finding that emotional stuff is coming up, negative thoughts, anything like that, I want you to write those down on your food journal or in a journal separate from that, because we're going to start kind of looking back and looking at how your self-talk is and things like that. So I want you to pay attention to that, and I think you'll notice some pretty significant differences from what your self-talk is in the beginning versus what it is at the end. I think you'll find that we're starting to change a lot of that self-talk. But that food journal or just a regular journal is a great place to track all of that. The next one is look elsewhere for comfort. Instead of unwrapping a candy bar, go for a walk, treat yourself to a movie, or listen to music. Things that really help you reduce stress and is a good distraction for you anytime those triggers come up that would normally cause you to overeat. So the first part of it is being aware of what the triggers are. The second part is having a plan B so that when that comes up, you have something else that you can go do that will distract you. All right, number 4. This is kind of a fun one, keeping a temptation basket in the kitchen. So this is basically where you put all of your things that you love that are a great distraction for you. So might be a good book, it might be some of your herbal teas, anything that, that are kind of distraction items that you can, maybe some magazines, whatever that looks like for you, so that when you're tempted to emotional eat, you can indulge yourself with one of these kind of things instead. Let's see here. Don't keep unhealthy foods around. Hopefully, if you did the exercise in the beginning of the program, you've already gotten rid of all of the unhealthy foods that are in your house. Really just, and this is from here forward, there's no one in your house that this is good for. So just avoid having the high carb comfort foods in the house at all. If you're feeling hungry or down, postpone any grocery shopping trips, because that is when you're going to be at your weakest and you're going to be very easily influenced by the marketing ploys that all of these manufacturers have. So stay clear of the grocery store, stock up on good healthy foods, which takes us to the next one, number 6. If you have the right foods around and you have them prepped and ready, you will always have a healthier option to grab when you're in that moment of needing something to snack on. So it's really important to have your food prepped, be ready for those situations. We're all busy, and it seems like there's more often than not, you're behind, you're running late, and you really, it's just, you're going to make better choices if you are prepared with the healthier items. Number 7, follow your nutritional plan. Super, super important, especially while you're in this low calorie phase. Well, through the whole thing, actually. Your plan is designed to do very specific things for you at specific times. And as long as you are getting all of the food items on your plan, your body it has everything that it needs to put you further ahead, to get you the maximum weight loss. And then as we're adding foods back in, following your plan to the T ensures your short-term success and your long-term success, the ability to make this a lifestyle. Again, planning and prepping all of your meals definitely will keep you on track, keep you from making mistakes. And also, if you have the food that you need with you in the car, at work, it doesn't matter what kind of unexpected things come up, you will always be ready for any situation. Next one, exercising regularly. Exercising, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more detail, but exercising and moving your body daily, it releases all of those feel-good chemicals in your body. It helps your metabolism. You burn more fat. All the way around, you are just in a much better place. Mentally, you can handle those stressful situations so much better if you are getting out, moving your body regularly. So that's a really, really important one. And then getting plenty of sleep. Your mood is definitely more manageable, and your body can fight the stress that you're under if you are getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's very, very important, especially while you are trying to lose weight. Well, forever, but especially while you're trying to lose weight. It's almost impossible to lose weight if you're not getting enough sleep, your body's under stress, and it's producing more cortisol. You're just not going to get the kind of results that you're looking for. So make sure that you set an early bedtime, and calm and just get rid of your phones, anything that's going to get your mind going. Do something relaxing right before bed, and set your bedroom up so that it is an oasis of relaxation. You don't want to be watching TV in your bed or anything like that that's going to keep your mind going. Really, you just want to have a nice relaxing environment in your bedroom so that when it's time for you to go in and go to bed, maybe do a little meditation, do your stretching, then your mind knows, you just get into that rhythm that it's time to shut off and slow down and get some good quality sleep. So that's really, really important. And then lastly, there are a few foods that really, really help with balancing your emotions. And the number one food for that are healthy fats, omega-3 fatty acids. So your grass-fed butter, ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, fish oil, walnuts, flax seeds, all of the different seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, those all are high in omega-3 fatty acids. So things like the fatty fish like salmon, all of that is really, really important for having really good balanced emotions. Now, right now, this week, I don't want you adding these into your diet just yet, but I want you to be aware that if you are emotional or under a lot of stress, starting next week, I want you to start adding these into your diet. It might make sense for you to start with a supplement so that we're not getting too much extra fat in right away. We're going to be working into that slowly. So maybe start out with some supplements for the first 3 weeks or even 6 weeks. Now, for the first 3 weeks, and then you can start adding more of the oils in, just to make sure that you are getting the proper amount of fatty acids into your diet. Okay, so that concludes the emotional eating lesson. So a couple of other things that really, really help. We talked a little bit about yoga. Meditation is huge for emotional balance as well. Right before I go to bed that's the time that I like to do my meditation. Even just 15-20 minutes of just being very still really, really will help you be more calm, get a better night's sleep, and let go of all your problems for the day. So learn how to balance your emotion, and every other area of your life will be better, including your weight loss results. So, all right, I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy the last week of your low calorie portion. And next week we get to start adding some things back in, so that will give you something to look forward to. Have a great week.